Hello everybody. If you want all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 900. The Celestial Dome. Advanced. The high desert air was exceptionally crisp, carrying the chill of approaching midnight. Above the jagged silhouette of the canyon, the sky stretched into an infinite canvas of absolute black, pierced by a million brilliant stars. Inside the great spherical chamber, Elias adjusted the brass dials of the massive refracting telescope. He had spent 40 years in this isolated facility, tracking the silent movements of the cosmos. Tonight was the culmination of his life's work. His apprentice, Clara, stood by the primary console, her eyes fixed on the glowing monitors. She was a brilliant astrophysicist, possessing a sharp intellect and an unwavering dedication to their shared program. The atmospheric conditions were perfect, yet a profound tension filled the room. They were waiting for the perihelion of a rare, distant comet, an event that occurred only once every 3 centuries. "The tracking motors are engaged," Clara announced, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "We have a clear line of sight." Elias nodded, his weathered hands trembling as he reached for the heavy focusing knob. "Excellent. Let us bring her into view." He turned the mechanism with practiced precision. The massive lens is shifted, groaning softly in the cold air. On the main screen, a faint smudge of light began to resolve into a distinct glowing entity. A tail of ionized gas trailed behind the icy nucleus, shimmering with a pale, ethereal luminescence. "It is magnificent," Elias whispered, stepping back from the eyepiece. He gestured for Clara to take his place. "You should be the one to record the initial spectrographic data. This is your discovery as much as mine." Clara hesitated for a fraction of a second before leaning into the viewer. She adjusted the secondary filters, capturing the chemical composition of the comet's tail. The readout cascaded down her screen in a rapid stream of green text. Water vapor, carbon dioxide, and complex organic molecules. It was a pristine relic from the dawn of the solar system. For the next 3 hours, they worked in seamless harmony. Clara operated the sensors while Elias meticulously logged the positional coordinates. The desert outside remained completely still, undisturbed by even the slightest breeze. Inside the dome, the only sounds were the soft clicking of relays and the low hum of the cooling systems. They were entirely absorbed in their task, united by the profound beauty of the celestial visitor. As the first hints of dawn began to bleach the eastern horizon, the comet dipped below the observational threshold. The automated shutters slid closed, sealing the telescope away from the encroaching daylight. Clara saved the final dataset to the secure archive, letting out a long, shuddering breath. "The data is secure," she said, turning to face her mentor. The pale morning light illuminated the deep lines on Elias's face, highlighting a deep sense of contentment. "Then my work here is concluded," he replied, unfastening his heavy coat. "I have seen the apex of my career, and I have seen it with the finest colleague I could ever hope to find. The facility is yours now, Clara. You will guide it into the future." Clara looked at the massive dome, then back to the older man. She understood the weight of his words. He was not merely retiring, he was passing on a legacy. She nodded slowly, accepting the mantle. "I will maintain the standards you set," she promised, her voice thick with emotion, "and I will keep looking up." Elias smiled, a genuine, radiant expression that made him look decades younger. He patted her shoulder gently, then walked towards the exit. The heavy door clicked shut behind him, leaving Clara alone in the dawn light, ready to begin her own era of discovery. If you learned a new word today, please make sure to subscribe so you can practice again next time. Vocabulary notes. Silhouette. Explanation. The dark shape and outline of a person, object or landscape visible against a lighter background. In a broader sense, it refers to the general outline or profile of something, often highlighting its distinct shape without showing internal details. Example: above the jagged silhouette of the canyon, the sky stretched into an infinite canvas of absolute black. Similar words: outline, profile, contour, shadow, shape. Ethereal. Explanation. Extremely delicate, light, and seemingly not of this world. It describes something that is so perfect, refined, or subtle that it appears heavenly, spiritual, or celestial. It is often used in literary contexts to describe light, sounds, or beauty. Example: a tail of ionized gas trailed behind the icy nucleus, shimmering with a pale, ethereal luminescence. Similar words: delicate, exquisite, heavenly, celestial, otherworldly, airy. Seamless. Explanation. Smooth and continuous without any noticeable gaps, interruptions, or awkward transitions. When applied to human interaction, processes, or technology, it implies perfect coordination, efficiency, and effortlessness. Example: for the next 3 hours they worked in seamless harmony. Similar words: smooth, fluid, uninterrupted, continuous, effortless, flawless. Apex. Explanation. The highest point, peak, or summit of something. While it can refer to a physical peak, it is most commonly used in advanced English to describe the highest level of achievement, success, or development in a career, project, or historical period. Example: I have seen the apex of my career, and I have seen it with the finest colleague I could ever hope to find. Similar words: peak, pinnacle, summit, zenith, climax, culmination. Mantle. Explanation. While literally a loose, sleeveless cloak, in advanced and literary context it is used metaphorically to describe a role, responsibility, or position of authority that is passed from one person to another. It implies taking on the duties and legacy of a predecessor. Example: she nodded slowly, accepting the mantle. Similar words: responsibility, duty, role, charge, obligation, burden. Story written by Quen. Image created by onemin.ai. To read, listen, see all the stories' content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, Drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.